Hey friend, this color mixing hack could save you loads of money at the art store. So if you are new to watercolor, new to art in general, color mixing can be a very overwhelming topic. And so a lot of times artists find themselves at the art supply store just looking at everything. And you know what? I'm just gonna buy all of these colors. I really like this one, I really like this one. And you can oftentimes find yourself, like me, becoming an art supply hoarder, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. I do plan on donating a lot of my supplies that I don't need to schools, local schools. However, if you are wanting to pinch pennies and not spend tons of money on art supplies, watercolor supplies, the best area to save money on is actually your paint, your tubes of paint. The answer to not spending a fortune at the art supply store is color mixing. Start with just 3 simple colors. The primary colors, red, blue, and yellow. I know this is elementary, very elementary, and most people know this already, but you can mix up so many colors with just those 3 colors. Red and blue makes purple, blue and yellow makes green, red and yellow makes orange, etc. And different varying ratios of each one of those combinations will give you a wide range of colors. And then you can mix all 3 together, or you can mix different ratios of all 3 together. And you have blacks, you have different browns and grays, you can have the tertiary colors. So there's a huge amount of color within just those 3 colors that you can get to just through understanding how color mixing works. And if you want a deep dive lesson on color mixing, I have a really amazing lesson in my course, The Art Within, that shows you my entire process for mixing colors and color studies and how to look at something and understand how to mix up the color. So if you want those in-depth lessons, check out my course, The Art Within. But one of the best ways to save money at the art supply store is definitely understanding how to mix colors. So just start with those 3 primary colors. And even within each individual color, you get a wide range of values. So value meaning the light and darkness of a color. So you can have a really saturated, really thick amount of consistency on your paintbrush with one color, and it will give you a darker version of that color. But the more and more water that you add to that single paint, the lighter it will become, the more transparent it will become. As artists, a lot of times, a lot of us think that we need to have this huge amount of colors in tubes, bottled up before we can just start painting. And that is just not true. Oftentimes, it helps us expand our creativity when we limit the amount of colors that we work with in our palette. I do use 20 colors in my palette. However, sometimes if I'm trying to spice things up and I'm trying to expand my creativity, I like to limit myself to just using 3 colors and seeing how far I can stretch them. So doing a color study, we'll link to the video that we have on this YouTube channel of how to do a color study so that you can check that out. But do a color study with just those 3 colors, and then maybe start adding in other colors, maybe some secondary colors or neon colors, because you can't really mix up neon colors from primary colors. Slowly introduce those into your palette so that you can start to see how you can incorporate them into your mixing talents. Along with having just a smaller, more simple palette, along with saving money, you're also making sure that your colors stay really cohesive in all of your palettes and paintings. So if I'm just limited to these 3 colors or 5 colors or 6 colors or whatever, then all of my mixes, all of the secondary, tertiary colors, etc., that I'm going to be using in my mixtures and in my palettes are going to be stemming from the same exact simple palette. So that is going to allow for a lot more cohesiveness in my paintings and color palettes, and it's going to keep my undertones and values somewhat the same. So I have a lot of videos on this channel that go into depth on how to approach color mixing. So if you want to check those out, we'll link to them in this video. But also make sure you check out my 40-page free ebook called The Complete Beginner's Guide to Watercolor. It's a companion or free download and companion to the video that we have on my YouTube channel that we'll link to. And if you want to learn a lot more about color mixing, I go a lot more in depth on the whole process in my course, The Art Within, which also teaches you how to develop your style as an artist and hone in all of those main watercolor techniques. So make sure you check that out. I hope this video was helpful for you. Let me know in the comments below if this was helpful. If you go to the art supply store and you're an art supply store hoarder like me, whoopsies. And as always, thank you so much for watching these videos, for liking, for sharing, for subscribing to our channel, and I'll see you in the next video.